Welcome back, everybody. We are back with another NFL edition for these prize picks. We do have 6 picks for you. And if you tuned in last week, how this episode works is there are 3 of us. I am DJ. Alongside me is my brother Dalton and lifelong friend Nathan. Each of us will be giving you 2 picks of our own for these Saturday games. So again, kind of our 2 favorite picks heading into these matchups, combining them all together for a 6-leg parlay and giving you that 25 times multiplier. So with that said, Dalton, I'll kick it to you. Go ahead and get us started off with your 2 favorite picks.
Yeah, guys. So for my first pick, I'm actually going to go with someone I believe a lot of people are going to go with, and that's actually quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Now, guys, Mahomes hasn't quite lit up the stat board like we're used to this season, but with a bye week having a bye in week 18 where he sat out, there's a buzz that he's primed for a major comeback in the playoffs, and it's postseason magic. And I think we're going to see it like we're used to seeing with Mahomes, and I think that's on the horizon again because the Dolphins, they're limping on defense, man. They will be missing the likes of Bradley Chubb and a few others, such as their middle linebackers. And this spells out a big opportunity for the Chiefs to double down on their ground game and pepper in those quick fire passes that Mahomes is known for. And speaking of Mahomes, he's got a knack for turning up the heat when the stakes are high, especially so because playoff time is Mahomes' time, and those legs are going to get to moving. He's just known for scrambling out of the pocket. He's going to want to do more things with his legs and make things happen. He's always done that in the playoffs. And so the current rush yard line is sitting at a razor sharp 28.5 yards. But with Miami's linebacker duo sidelined, my gut's kind of telling me to bet on Mahomes outpacing that number rather than trailing it. Plus, this is going to be a freezing game because I don't know if you guys have heard, but this could be the coldest game in history for both franchises. And this is coming from ESPN. So Kansas City is going to be experiencing some crazy temperatures. And they're saying that if the game gets down to at least 5 degrees, which they're expecting to be in the negatives, this game could be the coldest game the NFL has seen since December of 2016. So I'm expecting the ball to be run quite often and to be a common denominator for both sides of the ball. And so that's why I think it's going to be even more so for Mahomes, especially considering that Miami's linebackers are going to be sidelined. So these are going to be some inexperienced linebackers. So I'm kind of expecting Mahomes to be able to get outside the pocket and just get going. So I think he's going to crush the over 28.5 rush yards versus Miami. Now, for my second guy that I'm going with is actually in the other Saturday slate game, and that's going to be Elijah Moore going over 36.5 receiving yards versus the Texans. So I think he's going to be an absolute golden ticket this week. Now, with Amari Cooper hobbled by a heel issue and both Cedric Tillman and Marquise Goodwin being question marks for the week, Elijah Moore is shaping up to be a pretty smart early play in your prop bets. Moore's in his 3rd year and has shown flashes of brilliance, especially with Joe Flacco at the helm, a quarterback not shy of going deep. So we've seen that. He's always been someone that's going to throw that deep ball, and he's not scared of it. So remember from those early days, he's played with the Jets. Elijah Moore and him have chemistry. So he's been on the receiving side of some serious airmail from Joe Flacco, and we might just see those explosive plays again come Saturday. So it's true. Moore's been a little bit under the radar during Flacco's recent games with just an average of 40 yards on the field, but I don't want to be completely fooled by this. He's been racking up the air yards, ranking 9th over a period where Flacco's arm has been launching an average of 326 yards per game. So Moore delivered versus the Jets in week 17, catching 5 passes for 61 yards, absolutely smashing his prop bet that week until he was sidelined by that hit that gave him a concussion. But he came back last week in week 18 momentarily, but that showed enough to me that he's healthy enough and that he's right for playoff action. So with the injury list for the Browns receivers, I'm leaning towards giving Elijah Moore a solid shot of eclipsing over 38.5 receiving yards. I think he could do that in one catch. He's a deep threat, and Joe Flacco is known for throwing deep. So I think that could very easily be done through at least once or twice through 4 quarters. And with the injury context, like I said, that's a bet worth valuing. So I'm going to lock on this one pronto. So guys, that's all I have for my 2 prize picks. So Nathan, go ahead and tell us who you have for your prize picks.
Yeah, real quick. As much as it hurts me to say this, but congratulations to the Wolverines on winning the national championship this year. Damn bummer. what's it been, 26 years, something like that. It was since their last one. So they
They were
finally got
due.
something. Yeah, they were due. So finally got something to actually cheer about. But the way I look at it is, you do all this, get this win, just to have it taken away from you for the hardball cheating scandal.
Hey, at least we know now that Tom Brady graduated there, right?
Yeah.
It all makes
Well,
sense.
but with that being said, let's get into these picks here. So one of the guys I'm going to go with is also in that late Saturday night slate game. They're in the freezing temperatures at Arrowhead Stadium, and that is Travis Kelce for over 39.5. This is supposed to be an extremely cold football game. Supposed to get some wintry mix possible in the area at the time, but it's the NFL, guys. You're eventually going to have to throw the football. And Dalton mentioned it. He explained that Patrick Mahomes comes out in playoff time. He's going to be hot, trying to get that Mahomes magic going. And well, when that happens, guess who else gets going? Travis Kelce. So if they can get Mahomes and Kelce rolling into the playoffs, I like this bet, 39.5 receiving yards. It's a Green Goblin bet, so I'm taking it. We'll just get an easy win on the board. Another pick I want to put out there is uh the over under on if Taylor Swift's going to show up or not, guys. What do you think? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know if she can handle the cold weather, but I don't know. The broadcast could do us all a favor and show us more of the football game and listen to Taylor Swift. It'd be much appreciated. Peacock, if you're listening, take notes. But anyways, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and move into the early slate on the Saturday games here, and I'm going to go Nico Collins for over 71.5 receiving yards. We saw how the Texans got things rolling last week. I was on a call with Dalton literally 5 minutes before kickoff, and we were talking about the Nico Collins receiving yards. And literally, the first play of the Texans first play of the game for the Texans was a 71-yard touchdown from CJ Stroud to Nico Collins, and we hit the receiving yards on the first play. So that would be pretty cool if they did it again, but they are playing a very, very good defense. But the Texans are a very pass-happy offense, and they are going to be able to move the ball. They're going to score because they've been able to score and move the ball, and Stroud is playing very, very well. I believe he is going to be the Offensive Rookie of the Year. So I really like this bet, especially with Tank Dell being out. Tank Dell is a very good weapon there for the Texans, but now that he is out, he would seem to be the second favorite guy there for CJ Stroud. But with him being out, Nico Collins is stepping up and handling the pressure well. It's they're hosting a home playoff game for the first time in a while. Shout out to D'Amico Ryans for turning that franchise around. He's done better than what everybody else has thought what everybody thought that he would do. But I just think with this being a playoff game, the Texans trying to keep their streak alive into the playoffs and keep rolling. I just think it's a good lock here for Nico Collins to get 71.5 receiving yards with the way that Flacco's been throwing the ball, averaging 300 yards a game. They're going to have to throw the ball to keep up with Flacco if he's going to be tossing that thing down there in Houston. So I like this bet. I believe it's going to hit. And those are my two prize picks that I'm going to rock with this weekend. Again, I got Travis Kelce for 39.5 receiving yards and Nico Collins to go over 71.5. So that's all I got for you guys. Let's go ahead and kick over to DJ and finish this thing off and see what he's got to finish out our parlay.
Absolutely. And hopefully these my two legs aren't the reason that we lose. But let's go ahead and jump into this. I've got Jerome Ford going under 43.5 rush yards. This is I feel like it's an interesting high line for like a really high line. I mean, so that's why I'm really telling the under. Okay. But here's why. He's only hit this line in 2 out of his last 6 games. And the last time that he faced this Houston Texans defense, they are very good at the rush defense. They are currently ranked 6th in all of the NFL in their rush defense, but they rank 25th in their pass. Now, the last time that Jerome Ford and these Browns faced them, Jerome Ford did have 15 carries. But of those 15 carries, he only had 25 yards, giving him an average of 1.7 yards per carry. So nothing very good. Again, that Houston Texans defense is very stingy against the rush, allowing more of a pass. And the recent history that we have seen with this Cleveland Browns offense is kind of with all of the question marks surrounding their O-line with injuries and kind of quality of play, everything else. It's become more of a pass-dependent offense more than a rush-dependent offense. And again, that's, Jerome Ford is not Nick Chubb either. So Jerome Ford's very good. I don't want to discount him, but with this line where it's at versus this Houston Texans defense, I don't like it, even if it's a blowout, because if you look at also in that last matchup where they played, Cleveland did win that game by 14 points. And Jerome Ford still only rushed for 25 yards, but we saw Joe Flacco go out there and throw it for 42 times for 368 yards. So again, I don't love the matchup here. I think 43.5 is very high for him. So definitely taking the under on him. But the next bet that I have here is Isaiah Pacheco going over 90.5 rushing plus receiving yards. He has hit this line in 3 out of his last 5 matchups, falling just short of 89 yards with 89 yards. So giving him just missing that line by 2 yards in that matchup. Now he did play Miami earlier this season in week 9, and looking at that matchup, he did have 66 rush yards, 0 receiving yards. He only had 1 target, did not catch it, so giving him the 0 receiving yards. Now, as we mentioned earlier, with the weather the way that it is in this game, I do think that throwing the ball down the field is going to be a little bit more difficult. So I think that more targets are expected to come Pacheco's way. So if he is able to hit that 66 kind of receiving or rushing yard mark that he hit like last game, really we're only asking for 20, 30 yards receiving. So something I think that is very doable for Isaiah Pacheco, and kind of especially how he's been used in this year's offense. He's one of the most explosive playmakers that this Kansas City Chiefs offense has. So I do think that they will be relying on him in this cold weather game, if that is the case for him. And again, it's the Miami Dolphins. They are known for going kind of punch for punch with one another and their opponent. And I think that Kansas City can handle. So I do think that Isaiah Pacheco will have plenty of opportunities in this game. So anyways, this is all 6 of our picks here. And as always, make sure that you are subscribing, hitting that bell notification, leaving a like, leaving a comment. Let us know what picks you are tailing, which picks you hate. We always love to know. We will give you even more reasoning and justification if you let us know which ones you like, which ones you hate. But anyways, that is all that we have for you. And we hope that you have a very profitable first week into the playoffs. Anyways, we will see y'all next time.
Pleasure around the pound with you, boys. Real quick. For those of y'all who don't know, it's a very, very sad day for one of the people on this podcast. DJ, no. Dalton, why is today such a sad day for you? Just let everybody know.
Why can't you just let me rest in peace, bro? Yes, Nick Saban retired today, Wednesday, January 10th, the day before my son's birthday.
Yikes.
Ouch.
Woo! But didn't you win a national championship on your son's birthday?
I
Didn't
did.
Saban gift you
He
a
did.
national championship on your son's birthday?
The day my son was born, we won a national championship with Mac Jones. We
There you
sure
go.
did. 2019.
And that was the day Mac Jones essentially died. Your baby was born. That was the last thing Mac Jones really ever did.
Hold on.
I just wanted to throw that out there for y'all boys. So, pleasure riding the pine.